Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for educational purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho. A former fraternity brother from the Sigma Chi wrote this on Reddit. Shout outs to Cross Examiner for sending me this. I find this article to be very interesting. Trigger warning. This is just examples of what goes on in the frats. He started by saying, or let me start by saying trigger warning. So it could be too much for some people to handle. Very sensitive subjects. I saw that there was someone else here posting about their traumatic experience in Phi Delta Theta. Phi Delta Theta is where the Banfield boys are from. And he says, and I think it is important. I came out against Sigma Chi and how I suffered at the hands of their fraternity and fraternity members as a pledge 7 years ago. Trigger warning. Talks about ABUSE, depression, anxiety, assault. I think there are a lot of negative stereotypes in fraternities and sororities, and I want to note, just like the other guy did, that a lot of times they are false, and I know many have had positive experience at the fraternities, but at Sigma Chi, I had extremely terrible experiences where the members psychologically and mentally abused me for months on end. First off, I started as a pledge. They made me do tons of boring, malicious tasks all day. Clean their rooms, the bathrooms, clean the kitchen, nothing terrible. If you didn't clean fast enough, they would yell and scream at you, call you homophobic and racial slurs. A lot of times the members said the N-word and make you plank, squat, or do some form of exercise. A lot of times they would make us steal stuff too. They forced me to steal furniture from people's balconies, from the houses, food from the food bank bins, and a lot of times just snacks they wanted from shoppers, both locations. So I think shoppers is a shop or supermarket. So from both locations. If you refuse to do it, they would threaten to beat you up. Or in my case, I was placed in a dark room for 8 hours with white noise playing in the background. For 8 hours. This was all to gain their validation before initiation. He says this was all to gain their validation. I happened, but one of the worst things they made me do was siphon gasoline out of people's cars. Once they stole gasoline from a minivan and later found out that it was a mother with kids' car. She couldn't start it and take them to school. One of the activities was mad. One of the actives was mad that she was trying to investigate, and basically the mother was trying to investigate it, and he slashed her tires the next day. They were laughing about this at our pledge meetings. I was demoralized and ashamed, but stayed with the pledge process because luckily I avoided some of the worst stuff, although I'm not proud of the things I did. I like I liked a lot of guys in the Sigma, honestly, but they developed their weird gang mentality when they were together. Some of the nicest guys I knew would be saying that N-word and saying terrible things about people of African descent. I am half Filipino, half Lebanese, and they would call me a monkey, sand and dollars, and a mudblood all the time. Guys, I apologize for using the slurs. I'm a dark-skinned person myself, and I find it really heartbreaking. But let's continue. They gave us all nicknames, and guys who I thought were my friends would call me racial slurs and psychologically abuse me. The worst was intentions, which was extremely traumatic, and I don't want to go into much details about. They blindfolded us and made us stand naked against the wall. They would pour cold liquids over our heads and laugh and say demoralizing and racist things. Then they would tie our hands to a chair and ask us trivial historical questions about the fraternity. Every time I got one wrong, they would waterboard me, imagine that, and scream at me until I got them right. They took us into rooms alone and made us watch homo, sexual pornography with the sound full blast. One of the pledges, let's just say, got aroused during it, so they physically assaulted him really bad with a wooden bar or with a wooden oar. They spanked him with it and he couldn't walk. He was on the ground crying and in severe pain, and they just let him be there. They took us all into main rooms, usually where the parties happen and where people dance, and made us lie on the floor completely naked. They forced us to crawl and eat old molding pieces of meat. Poor them. They could have got food poisoning and died. Off the ground with their hands behind their backs. They called it the pig festival. The person who ate the most was then exempt from the punishment. Do you know what the punishment was? They covered a vibrator with raw egg and made us put it in our mouths. Not all of us had to do it, but a couple guys did it. When the actives got a good laugh, we moved on to just hours of intensive physical activities. Imagine that. The last and most messed up part of initiations is the end. The ceremony that takes place in the chapter room and is very ritualistic. They are in these weird cloaks holding staffs, and we go through the whole pseudo-Christian ritual. This is for some reason dedicated to Greek gods and Freemasonry, Masonic Brotherhood, if that even makes sense. Yes, it makes some sense to me. Then to celebrate, they had strippers and escorts come. A lot of guys just took these women to their rooms and did private stuff, but in general, it is just a weird strip show with a lot of alcohol. Again, I don't want to ruin anyone's experience in any fraternity because I'm sure it can be positive, but this was too much for me. I am happy to let you guys know what happened because it shouldn't be a secret. I would like to thank the young man who brought this forward. I wasn't sure if I should read this to y'all, but I think it is important because this is about putting out awareness of what goes on in these Greek fraternities, this Greek lifestyle, that all parents should be aware. I don't even know why they exist. We send our children to schools and college to get an education, to be a good citizen in life, and be good people in the future. We don't send our children to go get beaten, abused, assaulted, etc. Imagine they were doing all this physical assaults, psychologically messing up these students just so that they can get entertainment and have a laugh out of it. So the reason I put this up and brought this awareness, if this young man hears me, if you ever come across this clip, I would really like to applaud you for bringing this forward. This could help many parents and many youngins like you to make better decisions. I don't blame young people because they do want to be accepted in a group of friends. They want to be the popular kids. But yet again, it's so sad that most of them don't know what's in store for them. These Greek life style fraternities and sororities are creating a place where people are abused, assaulted, manipulated, psychologically, physically, mentally, emotionally, and it needs to stop. I wish you the best, young man. Thank you for bringing it forward. I'm really sorry for what happened to you. My heart goes out to you. Now, if these people in Sigma Chi are doing this, and Phi Kemna, what they call? The three guys, Banfield, Timothy, Ethan, he's frat, and such frats have the same kind of patterns of behavior allegedly. My question is, what do you think they could have done to Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Zano? I don't want to even imagine, but I can actually. I always knew that they took it this time too far. Let's not forget, the quadruples wasn't the only thing that happened. What about Hudson Lindo, who was found in Paradise Creek, in the frozen creek, after a party that was conducted by Delta Tau Delta. That's the same frat, same fraternity John S. Showalter attends. Maddie, Zana, and Maddie's boyfriend Jake and Showalter all attended that party. So they would definitely have known what happened to Hudson Lindo. Whether he was overdosed or hazed to death, whatever it was, I personally believe foul play happened there. Then we had Hannah Clee, another tragedy. Her father says it was an accident, but nobody is found unalived after 3 to 4 days. Idaho, Moscow, unalivings, the quadruples, the police were called 8 hours later. Hannah Clee was found 3 days later. Is this some kind of nasty pattern going on? How come 911 isn't called immediately? If it's an accident or if somebody finds someone unalive, common sense would tell them to call 911 immediately. So something is not right in this college, in my opinion. We've heard of many colleges that children have been hazed to death or OD'd. We've heard, and I've showed you all in my channel, like North Carolina, that they were caught with rugs worth over $1 million. These fats deal with rugs. They deal with many other things. So, what happened with the 4 victims? Were they going to maybe tell on whoever unalived Hudson Lindo or Hanackley? We saw what happened to Reed. Timothy Reed was assaulted. He was badly beaten a couple of months after the quadruples because he did not invite certain vandals. He did not invite the vandals to his party. So they went to his house with knuckle dusters. Maybe that's what they used on Kaylee's face. And beat him badly, bruised him badly. And I'm talking about 50 members of the vandals beat this young boy because he did not invite them to his party. We are dealing with people who have crossed all boundaries and lines. I showed y'all in my previous clip, and I'll show you some pictures again of what was exactly going on at the Banfield stop. Many people have told me there's nothing to see in Banfield. And many people have agreed with me that Banfield and the grub truck are extremely important. I've exposed to you all first in my channel all the things that was going on at the grub truck. People calling out Xana's name. People yelling out Ethan's name. Let's go, Ethan. That's what they were saying. No, Xana, no, Xana, Xana, no. What was that all about? People were carrying at the grub truck, and I'm going to show you all that. I've showed you before, but this time I'm going to show you all in a clearer way. Showalter threatened the girls on the way to the grub truck. He said, "You know we are going to get you for that, Maddie." And Kaylee said, "Maddie, what did you tell Adam?" And Maddie said, "I told Adam like everything." What is everything? That Kaylee has moved on? Was it a crime of passion? Or that Kaylee was maybe going to talk to the police about who unalived Hudson Lindo? Or something like that. Maybe even Hanackley. This is just an example of someone who came forward and told us in details his experience in the Sigma frat. And we've seen how they act, because 4chan Anonymous told us exactly the nicknames they were using for the 4 victims, which was horrible. This is all some sick kind of rituals that they're doing there. This is bullying to the max. We saw 2 weeks before the unalivings, Maddie, Xana were, in my opinion, bullying DM. Maybe that's why she didn't call 911. Unless she's involved. Because in my opinion, I don't trust all of the members who were present at the 911 call. Doesn't make sense. The stories don't make sense. We always heard that Ethan was found at the doorway of Xana. So they would have seen him first. That was mentioned. BF said clearly she saw Xana in black clothing. So that means she did see Xana. That's exculpatory evidence. BF was selling in the house. Her Venmos show everything. You can go back to my clips and you will find clips of her Venmos and what she was doing with the Venmos. I won't be surprised if BK was in that area to buy COCAINE from Miss Funk, allegedly. If DM was being bullied, allegedly, on the 30th of October 2022, because it's all up in Maddie's TikToks. You can see that in my short clips. There's a lot of cussing going on. I hate to say this, she's being bullied, I think because she's GAY. That is what was written on Maddie's post about DM. She said, like this if you're GAY. Jaden. I think she's talking about Jaden Smith. So what I'm trying to say is DM was even gagged up and put in a room. If you see the Halloween pictures closely, you can see Maddie sitting on her lap, forcing her to have an alcohol beverage drink. That's hazing. And Xana looked like she was recording it. No matter whoever recorded it, Maddie decided to put it up. I wonder if DM could have taken revenge, honestly. These people are calling their parents, their friends. They took 8 hours to call 911. Something is not right. You can check my previous clips. This is what I see in the bushes. Y'all can let me know what y'all see. These are figures. I think this is a machete or something. The gold thing. Could be a gold machete. The rate is shining. You can see where the green circle is. There's a person there. These boys keep on looking into the bushes. What are these people doing inside the bushes and behind the bushes? You can see the figure. What is on the left, on the other green circle? I believe it's a weapon. What is actually going on? Some of them have a mask. I don't know if that is a weapon. These boys are from Phi Delta Theta. That's across Banfield. They have different rankings, but there are. One is the Treasury, that's Jimmy, I believe. The other one isn't the president. I will check into it and let you all know. But these three young men, in my opinion, came from 1122 Kings Road. Many people were involved. I hope the correct justice will be served. Please like, share, and subscribe. Disclaimer, and I should have put that in the beginning. Please use it under fair use purpose, because I'm willing to copy strike. The date, the time when I put in all my stuff is written. I don't mind anyone using it under fair use purpose. But I'm just tired of doing all my research, analyzing, even when I'm sick. And some people, I'm not saying all the people, many creators have given me credit. I really do appreciate them. I'm giving them a lot of love, respect, and shout-outs. Chaos Sector, they're doing excellent work. Murder Metal Mayhem, I love his channel. He's such a respectful, decent man. And it was only his channel, my channel, that used to say the frats need to be investigated in the beginning of the case. We always had that strong theory. Nika does a beautiful job. Shout out to her. Outcast does a lovely job too. There are many other creators, YouTube creators. Respect to all of them. Have a lovely weekend. Please like, share, and subscribe.